The one you should not have killed, also known as the Vengeful Spirit and also as Golden Freddy, the one most likely keeping William in this seemingly endless nightmare we see play out in Ultimate Custom Night. But what is the actual name/identity behind them? This is what's caused a split in the theorist community, the discussion forever ongoing, everyone providing a multitude of evidence for their sides. Although it always dials down to two people, one side of this large debate arguing that it's Cassidy, while the other side arguing that it's Andrew. Today I'm going to share all the evidence for and against both sides of this argument, and then come to my own personal conclusion with the proof we have. So let's find out, who is the one you should not have killed? Don't forget to quickly scroll down, subscribe, turn on notifications, like the video, scroll back up, and enjoy. Let's start off with what we know about the one you should not have killed. Identity aside, we know that they possess Golden Freddy with the crying child, known thanks to the survival logbook, having 3 different people talking throughout it, one being Michael, most likely the crying child, and the one you should not have killed, whose connection to the survival logbook I'll explain later. And yes, 2 spirits within one animatronic can work perfectly fine, due to what we know in the Fazbear Frights series, as within the 4th Stitch Wraith Stinger, 2 souls are talking to each other within one body/animatronic. We also know it's not just the one you should not have killed in Golden Freddy, due to the fact that we know 2 spirits are released from Golden Freddy at separate points, one being in Happiest Day and one during Ultimate Custom Night. It's completely possible and most likely that it's the crying child who's also in possession, who possessed Fredbear after the bite of 83, and we know that Fredbear is the earlier version of who we know as Golden Freddy, proven thanks to Ultimate Custom Night, where upon trying to kill and or remove Golden Freddy from the night, Fredbear jump scares you instead, which shows they are directly connected. And since you can't kill Golden Freddy anyways, that further shows that Golden Freddy has to be in control of Ultimate Custom Night. Not to mention we also have the final cutscene of the game to further prove that. To solidify the connection between the two, the one you should not have killed also has to be the one in control of Ultimate Custom Night, as we have voice lines that directly mention the one you should not have killed, which is how we got the name in the first place. But we also hear a voice behind some of the animatronics that's seemingly puppeteering what they say or do. The casting call for this voice is named Vengeful Spirit, so it's not Circus Baby that some people for some reason believe is behind the mediocre Melody's voice lines. So if we've pinned this soul to Golden Freddy, we also know that the one you should not have killed was killed in the missing children's incident, and given life thanks to the puppet and give gifts. Finally, the gender of the one you should not have killed is something that is brought up way too much, honestly. But does anyone realize that doesn't actually change anything? Okay, before you get mad and claim that gender matters and further confirms the identity of the spirit, hear me out. There are 2 voice lines which call them a male, and the image of the spirit is confirmed to be Scott's son. But there's also 3 voice lines of the Vengeful Spirit's voice, outright being female. Speaking of those voice lines, the actual casting call for the one you should not have killed clearly states the gender should not be immediately clear. It should work as either a young boy or a young girl. So if it's confirmed that Scott was literally trying to cause confusion about the spirit's gender, why is that ever used for evidence for their identity? That's literally why we have 3 points for male and 3 points for female. He's intentionally trolling us like how he trolled us with Mangel's gender. So can we please agree that the one you should not have killed's gender does not matter and should not be used to further prove whether it's Cassidy, a girl, or Andrew, a boy? So now that we can 100% pin the spirit to Golden Freddy/Fredbear, and we know that gender doesn't help answer their identity, let's finally talk about Cassidy and Andrew, the 2 main contestants. Starting with Cassidy. The name for Cassidy was found within the survival logbook by Reddit user dpowerful1. We know Cassidy definitely exists because of not only that, but because a scrapped FNAF movie script featured and was named Cassidy, to which Scott called this script the most accurate screenplay of the true story that would be satisfying to the most hardcore fans. Finally, the name Cassidy was introduced on the 1st of March 2018 in the survival logbook. Now, let's go to Andrew, who we learn about in the Fazbear Frights book Bunny Calls short story, The Man in Room 1280. The Man in Room 1280 is basically a representation of Ultimate Custom Night, that a spirit is keeping a man alive against everyone's attempts at killing him, but the man also shown signs of brain function, surprisingly representing REM sleep patterns, but only of horrific nightmares. nightmares. And that's because Andrew is causing him to endure these nightmares endlessly. This is clearly representing Ultimate Custom Night, and makes us view it more as an endless nightmare produced by the one you should not have killed, other than being literal hell or purgatory of some sorts, which most people originally believed. Finally, the name and/or existence of Andrew was introduced on the 1st of September 2020. Back to the identity itself, I'm more than sure it's Cassidy. You may have wondered why I kept referring to the date of introduction. That's because Ultimate Custom Night came out on the 27th of June 2018, only 3 months after Cassidy's introduction and 2 years before Andrew's introduction. The only valid reason people believe it might be Andrew is simply because of the fact some voice lines specifically call the spirit a male. But like I said before, that doesn't actually matter, and is only there to troll us with what their gender may be. And let's be real, if the man in room 1280 never came out, no one would have ever questioned the spirit's identity being Cassidy, and it would have never been a discussion. And like I said, that story came out 2 years ago after Ultimate Custom Night did. Do we really want to believe that Scott threw us a random fake name for the other spirit possessing Golden Freddy, literally just so he can reveal it was a troll 2 years later? The short story itself is a representation of Ultimate Custom Night for the books, so isn't Andrew just a representation of Cassidy for the books? This conclusion is without even touching upon or going into the entire debate about the Fazbear Frights being in a separate continuity within the FNAF canon, and an entirely different timeline than the games themselves, which is an unsolved mystery that I promise I have on the list to talk about another day. So in my opinion, the identity of the one you should not have killed, aka the Vengeful Spirit, aka Golden Freddy, is Cassidy. I hope you enjoyed another episode of explaining FNAF theories and lore without wasting any time, and please subscribe if you haven't already. I would now consider the unsolved mystery of the one you should not have killed solved.